I've been doing commentary since day one with Stones.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to Stones Live.
Mike Postle was in almost every one of my games.
Mike Postle lives the dream. He's every man's dream.
And I just got to see every angle of it. We were waiting for the hot streak to end, and it never did.
You look at just the amount of winning. It's just not possible.
Anyone who's in a casino walked by a roulette wheel and seen, red or black hit, 10, 12, 15, 20 times in a row.
You would expect some hidden genius behind a lot of these plays. There's got to be a secret that none of us know that Mike Postle has. When he would start talking, there was no bridge from his moves to his cognitive awareness of what he's doing. I was like, is this the genius that's taking down Sacramento poker?
I just felt like he had some random two pair and I wasn't any good. And he made a bet on the river that I'm probably gonna call almost every time. Again, I drank more wine that night than I ever have in my entire life.
Oh, really?
And I want to say that was around the time I really started to feel it.
He was missing that piece that a lot of successful poker players have. They're studying, they understand the breakdown of their hands, and then they can walk you through the process.
So in this spot, I flop top pair. He bets pretty big, and it's pretty obvious he's not doing that with ace king. So I think to myself, he's probably got the overpair. However, if I snap off two pair or trips, I'll get because I know that he's pretty strong, I'll get a good payday. So there's a lot of implied odds with the call on the flop, despite his pot size bet. So even on the flop, I really didn't think it was ace king very often.
He was unable to do any of that.
What do you think, an ace king, ace queen?
I'm not really thinking at this point.
There isn't words to describe what I do. It's creative, diabolical, and predicated on having an MO of I've always tried to be the most unpredictable player at the table, to where literally no one can ever put me on a hand. I do consider myself to be one of the best players in poker.
And the hand's just bananas and some crazy shit happening. You're like, what the is going on? This is amazing.
Mr. Mike Postle, ladies and gentlemen.
Mm-hmm.
I've never seen anything like this in my life. He really has 97K.
I believe it.
And I bought into it for a while too. And everyone enjoys those hands. And then we walked out of the booth and he's like, dude, something's fucking up. I don't know what it is, but something's not right. And I was like, I agree.
You should own this casino for the way he runs.
If anyone's made a deal with the devil, if anyone has, it was
It's
Postle.
him.
I was told that I don't understand poker, that I don't understand Mike Postle's poker.
You didn't have to be very good to realize that something was going on, though.
Right.
Like when you see some of these hands, it's like 5-4 offsuit. Is that a hand to go all in with or not?
Right.
These are the questions you have to ask yourself.
Use this toothpick and pick his teeth and be like, Mike Postle's just the greatest. You just don't understand poker, Veronica. A few more people are coming out to me saying that they also went to him and it was the same story. Like, we've already investigated. There's nothing going on. When the action hands happened, they were promoted because it was like so fun to watch. People complained about him winning and like that it was really odd some of the stuff he was doing. So he's like, you know what I'll do? I'm going to bring Mike in the booth. And I'm going to show them how smart he is and how great of a poker player he is. And he basically a puppet master. He like this Mike Postle puppet.
The one, the only, the crusher, Mike Postle.
And
Great.
so after saying that,
I believe in all things Mike Postle.
they folded.
Get some of that luck from
Yeah.
Mike.
Oh boy. Same thing.
Just know whatever Postle touches is turning into gold. Postle gold.
I do switch beers. Like no one knew he. I'll get you in.
Mike Jesus Postle, G-O-D.
He was not folding.
Like, hey, Mike, remember that one hand that you did this? And Mike's like, yeah.
Well, we have 6 hands to get through here, so let's start with
Oh, boy.
with those, and we are going to start with the...
Yeah, this one's a little fuzzy. Of course, it got a little fuzzier as the night went on.
It was just like ridiculous. There was no insight to any of that.
I had the right mix of wine. I might have done a shot or two. I had a weird feeling that they weren't that strong, and I don't know if.
Okay, wait. You had a weird feeling they weren't that strong,
Mm-hmm.
but did you also have a weird feeling that they were stronger than you? Dave checks here. Right?
Yeah, I wasn't quite sure what they have. The way.
Justin in his mind was like, well, it's all better now, right, everybody? Like, he gave you all this insight. He would be like, oh, yeah, he's just great. He's just amazing. I'm like, that doesn't make sense. And he's like, yeah, Mike Postle's just amazing God, yeah.
Sometimes the way someone looks at me or the way they check, the way they grab chips,
so
whatever
this look
they
right
do.
Here, this look right here.
It's just one of those things.
It's just one of those things.
I mean, I do put a lot of value in those live tells, reading people, studying human behavior. That's a big part of my game. I've always had really good instincts, and I can literally look at someone and just their demeanor and how they're betting, not just bet sizing, but demeanor as they're betting, as they're checking, whether or not.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Whether or not. That's fantastic. Yeah.
You want to like cut this off? Just be like, no, don't give this secret away. And okay. I did notice when Aaron goes all in, he's like covering his face and he's like trying to like keep eye contact away. Is that a tell of weakness right there where he's like trying not to look, or is that just like you can't get a tell because he's avoiding any sort of interaction or contact with you?
Yeah, if I remember right, I couldn't really pick up too much on him, specifically on this hand.
Is there any final words you'd like to say? Like, watch out, Postle's coming for you. Something like that?
Yeah, just be careful if I've had a lot to drink.
And there you go. The key to playing good poker.
I think people were complaining to Justin, and so he changed things up. Like, I think initially he was watching the stream and texting him. And that's why he was always on his phone.
Somebody says you're always looking at your crotch. I'm like, what do you mean he's always looking at his crotch?
Literally all my friends can vouch for this.
I believe
I'm on my phone more than anyone.
And then people were complaining, and I think he got an earpiece in his hat.
This whole hat thing.
They don't go in your ears, but the sound goes through your bone.
Where is he hiding this medieval, device?
The next step of listening to music is now here. Bone conduction technology that sends vibrations into the skull and directly into your eardrums. The bone conducting speakers fit snugly, offering enhanced clarity of sound. Bluetooth technology that allows you to listen to music and answer phone calls, and it's all put together into the simplicity of a hat.
He slowly stopped playing off stream.
I've been a consistent winning player for my entire poker career of that 16 years. I made a lot of money online back in the day, and I wanted to keep it quiet for a number of reasons.
The guys would invite him to, some of the more whaley games, some of the really good games you want to get invited to, and he wouldn't go.
I want to win as much money as possible. I love to play the big pots.
If you're crushing all of these games and you're just winning every single time you play, why are you still playing 1-3 at Stone's Casino? Why?
If you're so good at poker, why aren't you playing the biggest games in Vegas?
Yeah.
Or anything like that. Like I live in Sacramento.
When JFK was out of town, he played completely different. And that's an interesting factor in all of this. He was in Sacramento and I had my game. He barely played. And when he played in my game, he was a different person and he lost and he played normal. Because Justin would wear that microphone and he would talk into it and it was probably going into his bone conductors. And then, before that, he could have been just texting.
Impossible for me to be doing what they're claiming. It is 1,000% impossible.
Right before I played, all the locals told me, it was like overwhelmingly, watch out for Postle, he's the best.
The best, now accused of cheating, slammed with a $10 million civil lawsuit, a whopping 25 plaintiffs, many, including players like Jeff Bosky of Henderson, who went up against Mike Postle at the Stones Gambling Hall in California. And that winning, the lawsuit claims, was more than 94% of the Stones' live poker games. The lawsuit says he used electronic devices to cheat during broadcast games, raking in hundreds of thousands of dollars from fellow players, describing the chances of his winnings statistically unfathomable in the world of professional poker.
He is either exponentially superhuman in a way that none of us will ever see again, or there is cheating.
The lawsuit alleges that Postle used a cell phone concealed under the table or a communications device embedded in his ball cap to cheat.